Do I start now?
Yes, go for it.
This is my business idea, SandTorrent Games. My company will make strategy games. As stated by Google, a strategy game or strategy game is a game in which the players' uncoerced and often autonomous decision-making skills have a high significance in determining the outcome. Almost all strategy games require internal decision, freestyle thinking, and typically very high situational awareness. This is what we plan to create. Did you know that the number of active video gamers worldwide was 2.8 billion in 2021 and is predicted to reach over 3 billion in 2023? The number of new games released worldwide, according to Steam, has increased each year as well. The global games market generated 178.37 billion in 2021. Since I am releasing my games in Myanmar and Asia first, it's good to see the statistics for Asia. Over 85% of the industry's revenue comes from free-to-play games. Asia Pacific is estimated to reach $125 billion by 2025. So to cash in on these statistics and growing opportunities, we are going to develop my first game as a tower defense game. A tower defense game is one in which you will defend your base against incoming enemies. It is a game that requires you to strategize the placement of your towers on the way well enough to beat the incoming enemies. We will have both single player and multiplayer, so the players can choose whether they want to play by themselves or play with their friends. We have some competitors in the market. Some of them include Plants vs. Zombies, which is a popular tower defense game, as well as Kingdom Rush and Bloons TD6. This is our value proposition. We have a multiplayer that will allow people to interact with one another. We will have a storyline and some lore to keep people interested in the game. We will have a vast amount of towers available to the player base to experiment. It will be free to play, but with some in-app purchases. We will have occasional events for people to play and keep them engaged. This is our target market. It is for gamers from the age of 13 to 29. Here is a short tutorial of the game. The square represents a tower, the number represents the level of the tower, the color represents the type of tower, while the black dots are what is currently the enemy. This is an example of what a level would look like. This is not final. On the top right, there will be a menu button, as in most games. On the top left, some information, as you can see. And in the bottom left are the power-ups that you can use. Currently, you can see a variety of towers defending against the incoming enemies. The goal is to not let them pass through the left side. With the world advancing towards an online world and metaverses, we believe there is no better time than now to launch a game development company that keeps people engaged at home. Here is how we plan to make money through. And the business model is free to play with in-app purchases. We will have ads that are optional to watch, but with incentives like coins or a free power-up. Pay to obtain characters or heroes and skins, and in-game currency that can also be bought and used for power-ups and more. The major two costs for my first game will be development and design. Development will take about $5,000, while the app design will cost around $2,000. For marketing, we will sponsor a YouTuber to advertise our game. We will also advertise on social media platforms. Benefits for referrals, with certain milestones giving them greater rewards. Thank you. Feel free to ask any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That's really cool. Do you mind if I start off and just ask you, do you have any experience building your own apps or anything along those lines at this particular point in time? And maybe is there a favorite game that you play personally?
No, but yes, there is a favorite game.
What is that favorite game?
Currently my favorite game is Minecraft.
Okay, cool. And then I guess, is there a reason that you therefore chose tower defense games over something like Minecraft, which is a little more either creator or, you know, real life sort of play? I'm not great with video games, but sort of more real life sort of pretending, and that idea of almost a bigger idea of imagination coming in the way that you are able to create through Minecraft.
Because I plan to because tower defense games require strategy and thinking. So, and it will also be levels, so you can play it while you're on the car and such.
Cool. All right. So ease of use also at the same point in time. I like that. That's really good. Judges, I apologize. Who would like to kick us off? Navji, after you.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Ethan. Thanks for the presentation. I think it was I love the color scheme that you use for the slides. It's very there's a lot of good contrast, and it makes it very visually pleasing for the audience, which is great. The feedback is your research was very good. You had very solid numbers about the overall industry and how it's grown, and in terms of timing, it's great because after COVID, a lot of people have been getting into gaming, and the gaming economy is set to grow even stronger. So fantastic identification of opportunity, supporting it with the numbers. That's a very important starting point. The other part that I liked is also you had quite a clear prototype of how you wanted your gameplay to work. And that's important because the central part of the game is whether you think it's going to be playable by people, and you're able to already develop levels. So I thought that was very good as well. And the last feedback was in your monetization, your revenue model. It was smart. It was how all the big game developers do it, whereby you try and get as many people playing your game as possible by keeping it free, and then you upsell them at every opportunity you can get via ads, via selling of characters, via using in-game currency. All these things clearly show that you're a gamer and you're very in tune with this industry. So altogether, very good job. My only question to you is somewhat related to Ethan's question. So tower defense game is the start, but that's one aspect of gaming, right? So what are your longer term plans? Are you going to pivot to other games? Are you going to focus just on the tower defense niche? Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
If this is successful, I plan on making a sequel or maybe a prequel to this, since this game will have a storyline, but I am also planning to expand to other genres.
Okay, very cool.
Fantastic. Any other judges? May I call on you? Yes, Khalid. An audience will pop up the poll while Khalid's asking his question or feedback. Khalid, I've sent a request to unmute. Hopefully that helps. Not sure if it will. Go for it, Khalid. After you, if you can. Oh, and it's muted again. No worries. Khalid, we'll come back to you with that question. I'm sure it will work at some point. Khant, may I go to you for some feedback for Khant's presentation?
Yeah, first of all, I like the presentation, very unique. You know, the whole gaming, the font being the gaming aspect, I thought that was very unique. This might be a little difficult to answer. I did notice that you wrote the cost breakdown for the app development. I think it was about $5,000 plus $2,000. You might also want to factor in marketing fees, but that is a lot. The initial sunk cost is quite large. Did you map out how many apps need to be downloaded? Like any estimations on when you can maybe start making some money, maybe break even, any roadmap there?
So first, we will develop the game. After developing the game, we will publish it on Steam or the App Store, and then we, after we make the social media accounts and start advertising there, we will also start to advertise on YouTube as well as sponsor a few people.
I think something to think about there is potentially what Khan's saying. So when can you make that $7,000 back is one thing to just think about as you go through there. Khalid, would you like to go ahead just to close us off for Khant?
Yeah, thanks, Ethan. So your target market, you said, is 16 to 29 years old. Why not beyond the age of 29? I mean, like, I love the idea. It's strategic thinking, decision making. So what's making you think that your target market is only the age group of 16 to 29?
It is not only that, but it is mostly that.
Okay, okay. And why is it mostly that?
Because I believe that to be the age where people play games.
Okay. There are people who are older than 29 who might be interested, like especially the concept itself, right? So you might want to think about expanding that, maybe not to begin with, but slowly and steadily. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Khalid. And thank you, Khant, for that presentation. Really appreciate it, buddy. Judges, just while we pull on our final presenter of the evening, I'm going to direct you straight to your score sheets. Thank you for doing them so properly so far. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Ariana does as well. But I would like to introduce everyone, audience and judges, to our final entrepreneur, Finzar, I believe.